Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to Chapter 8 of Ireland Bound. I know it's been a little bit since I've been with y'all, but oh my word, I have been having such computer problems. I can't seem to get anything fixed without something else breaking down and causing me problems. Uh, I thought I had a good fix, and come to find out I didn't. But to get to tonight's episode. Um, I'm going to, even though she's not part of the line I have been talking about, I'm going to tell you about my grandmother, Marie Rogers. And as y'all will see here in a moment, or actually, I think as you've already seen, because I usually do this after the introductions, um, there's a lot of names on Grandma's thing, which, of course, will be explained in the video how all that came about and why. And, I realized that I have to put her in because I can't talk about Grandpa without talking about her. And as I said in one of the previous videos, a good storyteller tells you who all of your characters are. They let you know who they are and why they're important for whatever reasons. And of course, Grandma was very important to Grandpa and to the rest of the family, to her two kids, obviously, and to all of her grandkids. I know we all loved her. So I'm going to quit talking now and I'm going to let y'all get to some pictures. Okay, so let's get started with my grandmother. As you can see, she's got a long list of names. Uh, the name she was born under was Goldie. She hated that name, and so she decided she wanted to be called Marie. When she got a little older and could make up her own mind, she was like about 5 years old, 6 years old, and she told everybody, she says, I am no longer Goldie. My name is now Marie. And that's what she chose to go by. Um, so she went from being Goldie to being Marie. Kind of sounds a bit like my grandfather, doesn't it? I think it was a lot of the reason why they got along so well is because they both understood the whole identity thing. Um, Also, too, when Grandma was around 2 years old, her mother passed away. And her father, who was who suffered a lot from malaria, if I remember right, he didn't feel like he could take care of, I think it was 6 children, and so he decided that he needed to foster all of them out because he had like 4 girls and 2 boys, I think. He kept the oldest boy to help him, and the rest of the kids he put into foster care. Now the back then foster care wasn't like it is now. Foster care was like, hey, my friend Joe, will you take in my son here? Hey, Aunt whoever, can you take this daughter? So it wasn't like it was now. It was basically getting friends and family to help you raise your kids. Well, Grandma was taken in by another family, and Grandpa, he got kind of smart with this. He had decided that he would change all the kids' names to where the middle name now became what had been their last name. So basically, Grandma went from being Goldie McElroy to being Goldie McElroy Carruthers. Yeah, so that kind of explains how she got about to that one. Also, too, her first husband was a man with the last name Graber. The marriage didn't last long. It did not last long at all. Well, let's just say that he did not make a good husband, and we'll leave it at that. But I think he ended up getting remarried at some point to someone else, but his family was just like, Marie, it's like, you don't need to be saddled with this. We'll take care of him. You go live your life. And of course, the name that she had until the end of her days, the last name Rogers. Her and Grandpa's story is quite a love story, and it's something I don't have time for right now, but I'll tell you what, you'll get to hear it a little bit later on, so stay tuned for more from Grandma and from Grandpa. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that little look into some nice old pictures of my grandmother and a few good stories. I'm going to have a few more. In fact, I've got a really good one that I'm saving for either the next one or the one after that, depending on how much I can fit in into the next storytelling. Because the next few, it's just going to be straight storytelling. I'm not going to do pictures and stuff because I've already introduced you through all the pictures that I have. Well, except for Grandma Rogers here, because I have a ton of photos that she had taken or that were taken of her. That if I put them all in, y'all would get bored. Because, I mean, it would be like a 3 hour video. I have come to the conclusion after going through so many pictures that Grandma was a prolific photographer. Even though she didn't do a lot of it in her later years, in her early years, there are a lot of pictures. I've got some that are just like straight scenery pictures. In fact, there's one that I took that when I found it, I was at my friend Tanya's house and I showed it to her, and we were discussing it because I was looking at the bridge that she took a picture of it, and I thought, I know that bridge, and she looked at it too, and she's like, yeah, she goes, that's the bridge you're thinking of. And we went out, and it was just a short distance from where I live now, which of course is in, girl, go away, go away, go away. Okay, I'm filming, go away. Oh boy, I'm all of a sudden I'm being inundated by animals. I've got a cat and a dog here that wants to get in on the action. You're not getting in on the action, buddy. Nope, nope. Go lay down. Uh, uh, when you have pets, they want to be part of your life too, right? But this bridge, like I said, my friend Tanya and I, we were looking at it. It's like, yeah, that's the bridge that's just right down from us. And the funny thing is that at the time it was taken, Grandma and Grandpa were living in the next county over. And why Grandma decided to get a picture of this bridge, I don't know. But I found it very interesting that it's a bridge that I'm familiar with I live not too far from. In fact, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something under 10 miles. I'm 5 or 6 miles that I live away from this bridge. I mean, it's a short distance from me. It doesn't take too long to get to, but I took pictures of it from the same side because if you take pictures from one side, it doesn't look like the same bridge because you got a big old hill behind it. So it's like we went to the other side and we were looking at the picture, like look at the picture, look at the bridge, look at the picture, look at the bridge, look at the picture. And we were like, yeah, it's the same bridge. But I found that interesting. She had pictures of when they lived in California. Uh, Pictures that were taken. I know that since she isn't in a lot of them, that she's probably the one taking them, like of Grandpa, of the kids, you know, all sorts of different pictures. And even some that were taken of her when she was younger. In fact, the one with the palm tree where she looks like a 20s flapper, uh, that was taken of her, of course. And, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of pictures there that I feel pretty certain that she was the photographer. In fact, I have a big suitcase. And I mean, it's like a big suitcase that is filled of photographs. That's where I've gotten most of these photographs from. But like I said, I think a lot of them Grandma took, and she took some beautiful pictures. So I kind of get the photo thing from both sides of the family, from Grandma and from my dad. So I'm getting it from both sides of the family. My mother, bless her heart, she was not good at taking pictures, not like Grandma was. But if y'all will, remember, if you have not subscribed yet, there's that big red button down there. Hit it. Bell notification comes up. Hit the top one that says all. And then everything that I post, because now that I can do polls and that I can do other things, I might be posting things a little bit more regular, maybe doing like a one shot of a picture that was in the videos. It's like, hey, you remember this? I'm going to be talking about this person this week. So, that I can do shorts now. There's a lot of things I can do that I couldn't do even last week. So, this is something new that's come up I'm able to do, and you'll be able to get in on all of it. So, remember to, got a piece of hair there that's driving me nuts. Remember to, like I said, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also, too, if you will, watch the video. If you enjoyed it, put a thumbs up there, let them know, hey, she's done pretty good. You know, do the thumbs up, and also to leave a comment. My cat's getting in my light. Girl, you cannot be a part of the video up there either. Same cat. But anyways, that was the cat. Anyway, so like I said, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you're watching this and you think, hey, this story sounds familiar, or I have a picture that looks a lot like her, looks a lot like him, looks a lot like them, we might be related. Also, too, it's something I haven't said in a while, and it's something that I just want to remind people if you're watching this. If you've got relatives, older relatives that are still alive that remember the family history, talk to them, record them, put them down so that way, you have that history there. It'll be harder on you. I mean, with as many stories as I have heard, there's a lot of things that, like I said, I didn't know until I started looking. I found out that I can do some free stuff on Ancestry.com, and I've been doing it. And I have found out unbelievable stuff about my family, things that I had no idea. And I'm going through and I'm like, no way, this part of I had two relatives that it was a husband and wife that grew up probably within 50 miles of each other. How do they know each other? I had others, it's like one was born in Vermont and one was born in Pennsylvania. I had a fourth great grandfather that was born right before the American Revolution. It's like I have proof here now that my family has been here since before America was a country, or at least part of them were. I have people that have lived here before this was America. And that's going back at least to the fourth and fifth generation on that one. Like I said, I haven't been able to do too much more. I kind of came to a standstill with some of it, but I've been given some other websites to try out, so I'm going to look into them. But, like I said, I found out I have people not only from Vermont and Pennsylvania, I also have relatives from Tennessee, Virginia, Ohio. I couldn't believe, yeah, just a notification coming through on my phone. I forgot to put it on silence. Silly me. But anyways, like I said, I've got these family members all over. I knew that we had some that came through Nebraska because that's where my grandmother was born at. But I mean, like I said, the Pennsylvania and the Vermont one, that blew me away. Especially whenever I saw the name of this one relative, and he was born in 1773. Just 3 years before America became a country. And this, like I said, this is like my fourth great grandfather, so that's like 4, 5, 6. That's like 6 generations removed. And I have someone who was alive when America became America. That's kind of thrilling. When you stop and you think about it. Where the rest of them came from, I still got to look into that. I've been looking at also too, something I'll get into later, some of the names and where they came from. One of my fourth great grandfathers, his name actually started out as a Scottish name. And it's something that spread into Ireland and to Wales both. So, I mean, at some point it was Scottish, so I can get all the way back to Scottish roots on that side. Did they go to Ireland and stop in Ireland and then come to America? Are they some of them that went down to Wales and then came to America? Or did they go down the Wales, come up to Ireland and come to America? I mean, it's going to be fun trying to find out, how far back some of these go. I mean, America's a relatively new country. I mean, with the fact, like I said, I've got a fourth great grandfather that was born at the beginning of the American Revolution. I mean, that I've got like a tie right there. What was it? Daughters of the Revolution or something like that. Daughters of the American Revolution, DAR, something like that. I can't remember. I don't know. I might be able to apply for that. I don't know if it has to be someone who fought, because I mean, there's a good chance that this relative, his father could have fought on the American side. He might have fought on the other side. It's something, like I said, that I'll have to look into and find out a little bit more about. But, it's kind of got me a little bit excited because I want to know more. But, like I said, talk to your family, record this stuff. If you don't want to do it for anything other than your own kids, do it for them. Start an ancestry, search, because you have to actually look at some of these things and make sure, like there was one that I was going through, Tafina, her mother, apparently, from what I have gathered, named her after her mother. So it's like, Tafina had a grandmother named Tafina. That's how I knew for certain that I was on the right line. Because, I mean, that's not a name that, you hear like you hear Mary or Rebecca or Sarah or something like that, from way back then. I mean, that's kind of a different name. And I've discovered I might also have a cousin who might or might not be alive. I haven't done that much research, that her name was Tafina. So it's like one direction, she was named after her grandmother, and then she has a granddaughter, or maybe it's a great granddaughter named after her. So I mean, like I said, it's with a name like that, it might have been popular, maybe back 100, 200 years ago, or it might have been a name slightly unusual like it would be today. But however it went, it's an unusual name. Make sure things like that, because if it's a name that's not quite what you're used to, and you see another person that has that name, it's a very, very good chance that they're related. And they might be related to you. Like I said, Tafina's just, part of my family. So your family might have someone different. But take a look, see, record down as much as you can before you lose these older family members who know the history. I mean, like I said, I was blessed enough that I had a mother and an uncle that they would sit there and talk all day long about their family. That's where I got all these stories from, and all the stories that I'm still have to tell. I mean, I'm up to the 8th episode of this, the 8th chapter, and I've told you quite a few stories, and I haven't even like scratched the surface. I mean, there's stories I know I've heard that I'm probably not able to pull up all the information, but the ones that I can, it's like I want them to be recorded down. You know, um, I talked to my cousin Kim here several weeks ago, and she was telling me that one of her sons was wanting to know more about the family history. He now has this he can reference. So if you're watching, I know you're one of the triplets. I can't remember which one you are. I'm very sad to say, because I can't keep y'all straight. But I mean, you've got this now. Even though it's a little bit kind of Japanese looking, go ahead and go back and you don't even have to watch me. Just listen to what I'm saying. Listen to the stories. I mean, this is as much your family as it is mine. If, like I said, if you are watching and you're thinking, this sounds a little kind of familiar, like I said, we might be related. This is getting, like I said, I was trying to go straight through my grandfather's line until I realized I had to put grandma in. So I've got a new branch that I'm kind of starting out. So at some point, I'll probably add a little bit more. There's not a whole lot that I can add because I really don't have a lot of pictures for strangely enough, for that side of the family. But what I do have, I'm going to pull up and we'll do a little bit of research. We'll find out, who's related to who. So, anyways, I hope everyone has a great week. Thank you for sitting with me this long, and y'all have a wonderful day.